I am back, guys. Sorry, I know I've been awful about uploading, but I've just been writing the rest of my show. I've been working on the rest of the episodes, and the first season should be done in a little bit. There's 8 episodes, and I'm almost done with episode 7. I would clap, but I'm unapologetically using my other hand to hold the camera. I mean, my phone, which is also my camera. So, yay! Episode 7, yay! This is gonna be the beginning of a category of videos of mine that specifically focus on the short stories that I write. And I'm going to talk about these works. I'm going to talk specifically about what inspired me to write them. So this one is going to be talking about the short story, the latest short story that I had published by the Armenian Weekly, and that is called God's Masterpieces. Feel free to check it out if you like. It's on the Armenian Weekly's website. Right, you know what? I've given up with the bandana. Like, I thought it looked good. You ever think something looks good and then you, like, see yourself from a different angle and you're like, that really was not. So basically what happens in the story, there's a woman, my main character, my female main character, who owns a tattoo parlor in New Hampshire. And she's being interviewed by my male main character, who is a reporter for the Laconia Daily Sun. It takes place in Laconia, New Hampshire, because, like, face it, where else could you own a tattoo parlor and become wildly successful but New Hampshire? And what happens during this interview is that throughout their conversation, the man and the woman make each other realize certain things about themselves, certain truths that are pretty uncomfortable. A lot of my work, both film and not film, focuses a lot on identity. And, you know, whatever that means, whether it's within your culture, whether it's in your family, your community. But specifically, if we go even deeper than that, my work tends to focus on people who feel they do not have an identity, or who feel that they have one, but there's some things that they might not have realized about who they are. People who seem like they're sure about who they are, but they're really, you know, they come to find that what they thought was completely wrong, and then their sense of self is shaken. How we define ourselves. Do we define ourselves through our careers? Do we define ourselves by the people around us? So the part that has to do with identity in this story specifically, in God's Masterpieces, is how we have to reconcile one part of ourselves with another part of ourselves. How can you be a strong, powerful woman, you know, for 10 hours a day or however long your workday is, and then go home to a partner that you're intimidated by, you know? Or how can you be the kind of guy who's Mr. Nice Guy and put your suit and tie on every day and present yourself as the perfect gentleman, and you think you talk like the perfect gentleman, you think you are, like, whatever the prototype for the perfect gentleman is. Say gentleman one more time. Why don't I? Ugh. Whatever you think the prototype for that is, you think you are that, and then you meet someone who brings out something in you that makes you realize, oh my goodness, you know, maybe I am not this knight in shining armor. I want to look at the dichotomy between being someone who is supposedly, you know, squashing patriarchy under her heels, but at the same time being a victim of it. And that's pretty interesting, because I feel like today in the media, we either see a woman who's like, you know, totally strong, like, you gotta eat all men for breakfast and rip their heads off, and you either see that, or you see the other end of the spectrum, which is like, oh, I'm so scared, handsome prince, save me. And, but, you know, you don't really see the in-between, and I feel like to do that would be a much more complex way of looking at it. And now, if you guys know me, you know that I'm a total geek for music. I love music from usually the 60s through the, oh my gosh, even to right now. From the 60s to right now, it's pretty much my listening range. And, but mostly I stick to the 60s to 80s, you know, like the classic rock and pop sort of stuff from then. And lately, I have been on a bit of a Bee Gees kick. I am not sure why. I prefer their older stuff. I really do, you know, things like Words, Massachusetts, which obviously I'm from Massachusetts, so I am pretty partial to that song. To Love Somebody, that's one of my favorites. But I had stumbled upon their This Is Where I Came In album, and I was listening to the title song, This Is Where I Came In, and for some reason, it just put me in the mood to write this story. I can't explain it why. Something about the mood of the song itself, and even some of the lyrics. Just listen to the song. Doesn't it give you a mood like black coffee? I don't know why. I even talk like a writer, and I don't mean to. But like, I'm so influenced by songwriters. Dylan, of course. Dylan's king. Gene Clark of the Byrds, he definitely deserves to be up there with Dylan as a lyricist. Jackson Browne, also a lyricist I admire. Paul Simon solely for his lyrics. Joni Mitchell wrote some pretty good lyrics. Mark Knopfler, who I think had a background as an English teacher. Sting as well, I think. Sting also had a background as an English teacher. I shall leave you, and gonna go pack for my vacation. See you in a bit, or whenever I upload next, which will probably not be for a few weeks or another month. Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 24? I hope you'll need me and feed me. You probably do neither.